What's going on, everyone? So late last night, we got news on both D'Angelo Russell and Jackson Hayes. Both players opted into their contracts. D'Angelo Russell opted into his 18.7 million, and Jackson Hayes opted into his 2.4 million. Um, D'Angelo Russell, I expected to opt in. Talked about that pretty heavily between here and as it stands Lakers. That I just looking at the market, I just didn't see a team that is worth taking the risk of opting out for, right? There are teams that are interested in D'Lo, but he's not their top priority, right? Like Orlando's been linked to them heavily. Well, there's like 5 other guys that Orlando's actively trying to get, and it's kind of like, oh, if they don't get any of those guys, then it's D'Lo. So it's like, do you really want to take the risk? And now you're stuck, and it's like, oh, now what do I do? Where smart thing to do is opt into that 18 million. Even if Orlando did sign you, they're probably not giving you more than 18 million. So there you go. Now you got the bag secured at least for a year. Jackson Hayes. I said I thought he should stick around. I also didn't think he necessarily would. It's not a shocker or surprise to me. I know a lot of people are like, why would he stick around when he can go get more playing time or everything else elsewhere? My logic in Jackson Hayes, why I thought he should stick around is where is he going to go where he's going to get a better mentor than Anthony Davis was my thought process. And much like how you saw Rui Hachimura essentially glue himself to LeBron James, my thought process was, okay, go and do the same thing to Anthony Davis. Glue yourself to AD for the offseason and see what kind of strides you can take going in. But this is also kind of shaping up like the Lakers roster is basically running it back. The Lakers are going to have to figure some stuff out. They're going to have to pull off some trades. Going to have to figure out a logjam one way or another. They got a ton of guards in particular. This is also more likely than not, unless they pull off a trade that includes Jackson Hayes, very unlikely that Colin Castleton gets a shot with the actual roster. So the whole way it was shaping up was it was looking like Colin Castleton supposedly made some strides. He's worked on his game, developed a three-point shot, and he was going to display all of his talents with the Summer League. And in the hopes of, okay, now he can come into the roster. Jackson Hayes potentially opts out. Now Colin Castleton, he can step up and be the third big. The Lakers still need a veteran big, a Valanciunas and Andre Drummond, whomever, right? But Colin Castleton stepping up and coming in and being that third big off the bench that if like LeBron or AD miss a game, Colin Castleton can step in and he can kind of fill in a role, right? Like that was kind of the thought process was like, okay, AD is out, boom, Valanciunas, just for an example. Valanciunas steps up, he's the starter, Colin Castleton gets the backup minutes, right? LeBron misses a game. Okay, AD slides to the 4, Valanciunas steps up, starts at the 5, boom, Colin Castleton gets the backup minutes. That was kind of what the direction it looked like the Lakers were going. It's why they didn't draft the center. It's why, they didn't really bring any other centers in for Summer League. They recently brought in Mohamed Darara. He's a guy that, more likely than not is not going to see beyond the Summer League team. I like him. I think he's good as a, prospect that you can grow and develop. But I think he's essentially not getting past the Summer League team because if Colin Castleton moved up to the starting roster, or not starting roster, but the main roster, then he would have been able, Diarra would have been able to jump in to that two-way deal and now stepped up, where now they're not going to let Colin Castleton go off of the two-way because if after Jackson Hayes leaves or gets traded or whatever, then, now Colin Castleton can step up. So it's probably going to be another year before Castleton gets an opportunity, gets a shot, which little disappointing. But again, I like Jackson Hayes. And Jackson Hayes is still young enough. I mean, he's young. He's as young as the guys we drafted in this year's draft. I mean, not named Bronny. He's 23, he'll be 24. So, there is a lot of still potential and upside for him. I do think the Lakers put him in position to kind of hone that upside. But Also, D'Angelo Russell, what it does is it puts the Lakers now in position to pull off a trade. Now, DeJounte Murray, he is off the table. DeJounte Murray ended up going to the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm still gutted about that. I'm still not very happy about that, but nothing you can do about it. It is what it is, right? So the problem is who's left? Like who is there to bring in? Right? Like who is there that is going to be able to make the impact that you need to make the impact? Right? Like you're basically looking at Trae Young and Zach LaVine essentially, which I don't mind either, but you're selling a lot to go get one of those guys, right? Like you're putting D'Lo helps tremendously because now you have that 18.7 million, so you basically get to half, little shy than half of both of those guys, but he's also expiring. So you see in Atlanta, they want to clear salary. It's something I've talked about for a month that Atlanta wants to clear salary. It's why they also did the Pelicans deal because they actually shedded some salary, and then they get a young guy in Dyson Daniels that they'll be able to develop and carry over. But they also want to clear space where D'Lo now provides that. D'Lo now can come in and say, hey, yes, you're gonna have to take D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, and Rui. Rui and Gabe Vincent only have 2 more years, right? But D'Lo will clear 18.7 million off of your books next year on top of everything else, right? And then now the Lakers are in a position to go get Trae, or same thing with Zach LaVine. It's like, hey, you can take on D'Lo, right? Ride out your year. You're hitting the reset button. Boom, we'll take LaVine, and then now you clear another 18 million off of your books, and then you have Rui and Gabe Vincent for like I said, a year or so, whatever. And they're they're two playable pieces, especially Rui. Like Rui can make some sense for both Atlanta or Chicago, right? So Gabe Vincent would kind of just be that veteran that he's on a cheap contract. He's making 11 million a year, so it's not like he's making so much money. It's like why would Atlanta or anybody do that? For them, it's like we can eat that for 2 years, and then basically our books are clean and we're good, right? So this definitely is a step in the right direction. I mean, this was the best option, was that D'Lo opted in, right? Like this was the best case scenario for the Lakers, that D'Lo opted in. I still need to see the Lakers make some moves. The problem is, it's like, what is out there? Like, what moves can the Lakers really make, right? What deals are going to be able to be done is kind of the big question mark, right? Rob, the Lakers are seeing all of these moves get done, which I understand because, again, we had to wait for D'Lo, right? Because if D'Lo opts out, that puts us on path A. If D'Lo opts in, that puts us on path B, right? So now that we know, okay, we're on path B, now we can go and use D'Lo and use the various things and try to go make a strong push to make a move or a deal. Looks kind of bleak right now. It is frustrating right now. I get it. I'm frustrated too. However, it is still very early, right? Like we haven't even officially hit free agency. Free agency isn't official until we're like 24 hours away, or a little more, like 30 hours away from free agency actually kicking off, right? And, this time next month, we could be looking at a roster going, man, like, here we go, right? This is great. This is what we needed, right? We're in good shape. Hopefully we have the problem is, like, chances are we're not going to be able to put together a roster that you're going to look at and go, this is a top 3 roster, right? But that doesn't mean we can't put together a roster that we look at and go, okay, this is a contending roster, right? Like right now, if like the Lakers run it back, they have a puncher's chance, right? They had a puncher's chance last year. Like the consensus was, like, as long as they don't play Denver, they probably are in the finals, right? So same thing could be a possibility next year too, but you got to get some moves. You're seeing all these teams make significant upgrades. The New Orleans Pelicans just got a lot better. They could decide to keep Brandon Ingram now, and even if they don't want to keep Brandon Ingram, they can flip him into other pieces that they need. They were able to keep Herb Jones. They were able to keep, Trey Murphy, right? Like the Pelicans are going to be tough. And I mean, they've already had stretches where they've looked really good, and then just injury bug hits them and it becomes a problem. So The Lakers have some work to do for sure. For sure. But hopefully, now that we kind of know, okay, guys are opting in, we're in good shape, we're in a good place, we can now focus and move forward in a positive direction and start making some moves here, right? Let's start shaping this roster together. That would be ideal. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you excited that D'Lo and Jackson Hayes have opted in? Are you excited and think that, like, yes, now that you got this, now the Lakers can go make some moves. Now the Lakers can go make some trades and really look to upgrade this roster. Do you wish that they opted out? I mean, look, if they would have opted out, Lakers could have had the full mid-level, but now, who are you going to get that's better than what you could potentially use D'Lo for a trade for, or in just the free agency money, right? Or not free agency money. Free agency. Where, like, who are you going to sign that is going to be better than D'Lo, right? So it's a problem. But anyway, again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.